There's a comment in the chat. I'll go off and then guess about kind of some of the press coverage that we can something.
You were cutting out for me there, Becca.
Oh, sorry.
Did you have a suggestion on?
No, just bring up the discussion made in the chat that, you know, we did have kind of press coverage about like the challenges of getting people into the commission. I don't know if that's something worth putting in here. I don't know. Unless we feel like the new, oh, I guess that was more the controversy. That's not just the trouble we're having filling seats, right?
It certainly wasn't a memorable part of the last year. Adding that in would take some time. So we wouldn't want to do it, I don't think.
On the fly.
Preference, yeah, not to do it on the fly. I don't know if the highlight would be that we had press about it. It's not, we didn't write the story, but if we did want to call out any of our recruitment stuff, issues, we could maybe in the reflection section.
I was just bringing it up so we could discuss it. I don't have a strong opinion. I don't know where that's seems like it's been in flux of like there was going to be a new process and maybe now the process is I guess the main thing is I guess I would want if we feel like it's going to remain a challenge, it'd be worth kind of highlighting that this is a challenge and it's important to get it addressed. But
can you scroll down just a little bit, Patty, to see what is there another bullet under focus?
No.
No, okay.
Yes, that's this section includes the two paragraphs of reflections on 2023 and then the focus areas for 2024. And so there is a new council and new chair for the land use committee. And so the process of moving forward in working with council staff will be an opportunity for a fresh process there.
okay. Would it be worth adding just a bullet and focus areas of something like continue to like or fill our vacant seats or recruit? Maybe in a timely manner.
How does that look?
So if we have to add that in, then that pushes back this by a month.
Excuse me, I got a pickle. You could move to adopt the annual report as is with that amendment. means to it. And so not having to wait to the next meeting.
All right. Any thoughts?
Yeah, if we do edit, this feels like the right spot. It is an important logistical consideration for our work. It's not the substance of our work. And I know that they, like us making the point that the way that we would be framing it here misses the point that has been controversial. I don't know. I think my preference is to not edit, not in the spirit of not being controversial, but that we're not doing it justice and we're not doing it on the fly. Or I would prefer not to do it on the fly. And we have written letters about some aspects of it, and those are public record. And we are moving into a new recruitment process, and should the need arise to create more letters on the topic, we can. I don't know. What are other thoughts?
I agree that it's not the substance of what we're doing. It's just, yeah, it's like okay, yeah. Just wanted to have a chance to talk about it.
Thank you.
And all that to approve this without that addition. Okay. So is every commissioner happy with this report? If so, can someone move to adopt it?
This is Alicia. I move to adopt.
Thank you, Alicia. Is there a second?
This is Nathan. I'll second.
Second.
Thank you both. Great. Good. So then we can vote. Commissioners, unmute yourselves. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. And any abstentions? Okay, great. Thank you for pulling that together, Patty.
Of course.
Okay, that is kind of all of the items on our agenda, which brings us to public comment. So is there anyone that would like to make public comment? Michael, June, Steve. Great, we'll start with you, Michael.
Hi friends, I'm Michael Oxman. I just wanted to talk about this annual report. It's devoid of any controversy, and there was a bitter controversy. This tree ordinance was claimed in the press as being corrupt. So, and then when you overlay on top of that the deliberate attempt to exclude highly qualified members from commission membership because they may vote in favor of ecological integrity, then you're talking about a broken system here. So you have the new city council members who really don't know anything about this. because they weren't elected until after it all took place. So if, say, some citizen were to go to them, they wouldn't be able to really participate unless they read the papers and, the article by Eric Sigliano, Investigate West, several editorials in the Seattle Times. When you have the main newspaper write several editorials about an issue, then you know that it's controversial, and this annual report is a whitewash. Sorry to just put it so blunt there. Patty needs to keep her job, and if she had included this stuff, then maybe it would be a poor reflection on her, which I disagree with that. Patty's doing a fantastic job. However, this was a long process, and thank you for allowing me to talk about this during the public comment period on February 14th, 2024. Bye-bye.
Thank you. June. You are muted.
There we go. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows, and Steve may comment on this as well, that everybody knows that there's a hearing tomorrow before the Growth Management Hearings Board. In August of last year, 3 organizations, Tree Pack, the Trees and People Coalition, and the Duwamish Valley Neighborhood Preservation Coalition filed a petition to the Growth Management Hearings Board asking that the board require the city to meet the city's comprehensive plan goals as required by the Growth Management Act, amend the tree ordinance so that Seattle is able to increase its tree canopy to 30% by 2037 and to 40% over time, and update its 2022 analysis of the environmental impacts of the ordinance to include the impact of 2023 city amendments and new state laws. So, we've had a back and forth of briefs. We submitted our brief, the city submitted their brief, and then Claudia Newman, who's our lawyer, submitted an excellent reply brief. So it should be an interesting hearing. We're hoping for a positive outcome. We have no idea that the board is required to weight the city's case over ours by law. So we don't know how successful it will be, but we felt like it was really important to push back in every way we could against the ordinance and to pressure the city. I want to just comment too quickly on what Michael said. Actually, a number of activists have been actively lobbying city council members. So I think there are some of the new city council members that are really quite familiar with tree issues, and I feel at least moderately optimistic that some of them are going to take positive action. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, June. Steve?
I would just add to June's statement on the petition before the Growth Management Hearing Board. One of the basic issues is just trying to push the city to actually come up with the plan of how you're going to reach the 30% tree canopy by 2037. It was actually a 30-year plan. There are 13 years left to get to 2037, and yet there has never been a plan outlined, as I mentioned in the beginning of my, when I commented in the public comment part, about how many trees need to be planted, what size of trees, what is their growth rate, how long is it going to take actually for those trees to reach increased tree canopy, and you have to add in there, if we're going to continue to lose about 250 acres every 5 years, that's another for in 15 years, that's another 750 acres in addition to the 1,000 acres that would be needed if everything stayed the same over the next term of years. Wanted to comment on a couple other things mentioned. I put it in chat, but just wanted to bring up what people generally think about in terms of the budget. I have not seen anywhere or aware of the One Seattle Tree Fund actually being put in place, and think that would urge that you inquire with the mayor if that is actually in place. It was we have the director's rule for in lieu fees out there, but have seen no evidence of any money being collected for new projects that have been approved and going forward. The ordinance said that those fees would be collected before the a building permit was issued. So it would seem that there obviously should have been some building permits issued since the ordinance was passed last year, that some funds should start to be collected. My understanding is the money is to go to parks and the SDOT. But I think, it'd be nice to have an ongoing report. Actually, it's the end of a year there. There should be a report from last year on that. Also want to recommend looking at the budget items to this issue of a climate and environment department to look at overlapping tree responsibilities and look at ways to eliminate duplicate costs, like having 3 different city agencies go out and trim street trees. Doesn't make a lot of sense. That it would be good to have one entity going through and looking at doing that could reduce costs. But I think that's the cost savings here is important, because if you look at the thing that Josh mentioned, the report that was done for the council on where expenses are for trees, the biggest expenses are in maintenance of trees at this point, it would seem, by like SDOT and some of the other departments. Wanted to also note that if one wants to if you're not familiar with Justin Farrell and OSE, actually OSE will be doing a report to the Sustainability City Light Arts and Crafts Committee on Friday at 9:30. She'll be speaking first on the agenda. And so if you want to hear what OSE is all doing besides dealing with trees and dealing with trees, that would be an opportunity to listen to her. And wanted to additionally ask that one of the things that had been in place out there and has been discussed by the city doing reports on tree loss and replacement by the departments. Those reports have come in the past to OSE, and it would be good to see what the latest report is on last year from tree loss and replacement. If Patty could report that to you maybe at the next meeting or something, or the status of it, that would be great to get an idea of what is going on in the different departments. We now do have from the tree service providers, we are getting a record of trees being removed. The thing that we don't have is at this point they're not reporting on tree replacement that is required as part of the ordinance, and that would be a good question to ask too, is who is tracking the tree replacement for trees removed both during development and by private property owners. So those are my comments. Again, thanks for all your volunteer work, and certainly there's a lot of detail in the issues, and appreciate all the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Steve. I don't think there is other public comment. So with that, then I think we've come to the end of our meeting. A little bit early.
Excellent. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Bye.